Alright, what's up guys? It's Angel here with YUGIOH, and I'm coming to you today with a deck profile of Voiceless Voice. I took it to the sneak peek yesterday of Rage of the Abyss and got first place. They gave us this mat plus the promotion card, Mimigo Charm. If you watch the box openings I also have on the channel, I pulled this in a secret as well. But yeah, it was 3 rounds and I went undefeated against Goblin Biker and 2 Tenpai. And yeah, it's post Rota, so the new cards are legal. There was my first round was against Goblin Biker, and man, that deck has gas. Like, if they go first, I think he played through like 3 or 4 hand traps and still made a board, and then stopped me from playing. It's kind of insane. Then game 2, the Voiceless does what Voiceless does, makes unbreakable boards. Game 3, I was able to draw and then kind of break through I wouldn't even say a half board. I think it was 1 interruption, and then Fiendsmith. The Fiendsmith cards in there were able to bait it out and then play through it, but that deck is kind of crazy for people who are picking that up. And then the Tenpai matches were kind of how it always goes. You go first and you try to make an unbreakable board. And then games 2 and 3, I was kind of feeling actually like sending them first, because this deck has a lot of different engines, and I felt more comfortable trying to break through their board and just play through with spheres, as opposed to like setting up Omni Negates because of Shifter and stuff like that. So I was like, well, let me send them first and try and break through. And yeah, that was working out for me. And yeah, let me show you the deck profile. This is post Rage of the Abyss. Maybe I'll make some changes later, but like the only changes I really made to the deck so far were probably just adding draws. I was thinking about taking out Nib, but I felt like for this little sneak peek, I felt like it was going to be good to keep in Nib and good to keep in Nibiru and Droll, because maybe people don't know the lines to play around those cards quite yet, and maybe they just shotgun the engine trying to go for the plays that they know, and I figured those cards would be good to stop them. Or I know against like Mermel they have to search, and there's really no way to play around Droll. And I was going to put in cast tier cards like I was talking about in the deck profile from before, but I just figured I would hate to like go the Nadir line, get the Pot of Greed off of the Sands off the extra deck, and end up drawing to like a Fenrir. It would just be kind of awkward. So I was like, well, maybe I just go more hand traps and stuff that like backs up my engine as opposed to like tries to become a different engine, a different deck. So let me get into the deck profile here. It's pretty standard for the most part, but we'll see. There's different engines, and we're on 50 cards, so it's different. We got 2 Skull Guardian, Odd Eyes, and Saphira. You could play 2 of these, but as I explained in the last video, I want to really solidify my game 1s if I win the dice roll. So that way, going second, this deck's pretty strong with all its engines too, but I can put it back in for game 3 and try and win that. Saphira's really nice for targeting prevention, but I just don't think there's room for a second one. I don't want to cut the Odd Eyes, but yeah, it's like getting your lows off and getting your diviners off. Like those are the real targets that like your opponent has to stop. So I could see the argument for more of the Serarvis. I keep calling it Saphira. 3 low, 3 Serarvis. Really good cards to open. That's about it for those. 3 Diviner and the Triaz. Even better cards to open because we play the Fiendsmith engine, so when you get the 2 monsters in the field, after you go low to set the barrier and you search your Saphira, you can straight up link those off into Moon, go into the Fiendsmith plays, bait stuff out before ever going into your ritual plays. I know the guy who topped the YCS recently was playing the Voiceless stuff first and playing the Fiendsmith behind it, but I personally like doing it the other way around because you get the draw off the Necroquip when you discard Saphira. And I feel like it's more important to get your engine going than it is to like solidify the Fiendsmith line. But these cards are like to bait and help you push, not the main deck essentially. But yeah, really good to help you protect against Pistials by making the DDD and Nibiru. Protect against Nibiru. The Maximus for the Nadir Servants. It's a really insane engine, just the amount of toolbox you get from that. Now we play some hand traps. 3 Ash, 2 Nib, 2 Valor, and 2 Droll. the draw or the new additions here. I really like Valor. I like it. I like that it affects the negates the effects, but it doesn't remove the card, and that's like a little bit of an issue here. But a lot of the times you just need backup cards to protect your engine. You already have so many Omni negates. One thing I was considering doing yesterday was playing Ghost Ogre in case I played against any of the Azumina Snake Eye deck, or even Tenpai hits their field spell. There was only one now. I was a little bit concerned, and maybe not understanding the full format just yet. Is only day one. I wanted something that had more coverage. Same thing with Nibiru. I just like, sometimes it never comes up, but just having it in hand to feel safe, it just always feels really good. Plus, you can discard it or tribute it for the ritual spell because it's a light monster with a super high level. So you can actually use it for tribute fodder for your rituals. And that actually did happen. Believe it or not, it happens. Especially, I think what happened is my low got impermed, and so like the full cost part of the effect was negated, and so I just used the nib from my hand. Search with Skull Guardian, still had low up on the field, and so like my Skull Guardian was still alive, active. But yeah, 3 barrier, the Voiceless Voice, the Blessing. Staples. Blessing is awesome for mid game to get back the trap. 3 pre-prep, 3 Nadir Servants, and 2 triple tactics talents. Cut it down to 2 just because I was like drawing doubles sometimes, and if you get imperm, then that's it. Then it can just leave you with the awkward hand where you're not able to use it. But I think with now the Dominus Impulse coming out, and the Purge already out, I think it's going to be more common where like people are just playing that hand trap. Like I think Water really doesn't have room for too much hand traps, but they might have that impulse. And Tenpai, same thing. Like they might not have room for, or if they're playing the breaker build or like very small amounts, like it might just be imperm Purge or imperm impulse. And so I feel like tactics gets a little bit, I don't want to say worse, but there's situations where like people are going to use their traps before their monster traps, their monster hand traps, to play around this if they can. So yeah. Then again, there's the argument of like, if they're playing Ash and Purge, they usually try and like Ash first to get it out of hand so they can use the Purge or not have the Ash dead. And in that case, like this is already live. But I don't think that's the case with the Impulse. I think the Impulse like doesn't affect fires. So then we just got the 2 prayers for the ritual spells, and the 1 tract. And then we got we're on that same idea where we're playing 3 Impulse and 3 permanents. This card is a really insane card. I hate that it's once per turn. There's so many times where I have multiples and like I could really only use 1. But yeah, it's once per turn. It's just like a great backup. Nobody ever really expects it. After you ask them once, they think that they're good to go, and a lot of the times they'll like follow up with like the actual important search, and that's where you hit them with this. And then it does destroy if imperm or if there's a trap engrave, typically going to be imperm or another copy of itself. But I'm loving this card personally, and it feels nice to like be able to use it imperm in this and still not be vulnerable to talents. Like if that's a card in their hand, then like it's just dead, and now you've gone 2 for 3 essentially, as long as you don't activate anything else or if they're done. And then the 1 Radiance. We got the Fiendsmith package. We've got Requiem, Sequence, Moon, DDD, Necroequip, and Desiree. So I really like the Fiendsmith engine in here. Like it helps me. I like making Desiree and playing behind it. I like making the DDD and playing under it. Like I think it adds so much value to the deck. And then the draw off the Necroequip, like it really has a lot of synergy. But it takes up a lot of extra deck. I think it's fine because like this deck does have the toolbox like slots that you can like move around. And I feel like the Fiendsmith comes up every single game, as opposed to like the toolbox cards would come up like maybe once every 3 games, and you're not really sure which one you're going to go into. Like maybe like an Anima might come up or something, but if you're sacking off your low for an animal, you're just in a really weird spot in general. And I think I'd rather like be looping the Fiendsmiths from grave every turn, sending Desiree off of the Maximus, just getting better value out of my extra deck slots. IP and SP, and the Dynamundo, just one of each. Then you got some targets for your Nadir package. Herald, of course, to like fix your hand and get you the ritual spell or the ritual monster that you need. Guru, just to get a draw, and get you the Maximus. It's like a pot of greed with this. And of course, Natis to pop cards. And then we got Chaos Angel and the Odd Eyes. The Odd Eyes is just for the Odd Eyes ritual, and then the Chaos Angel, it hasn't come up as much as I would like it to, but it's there for like going second. I really wouldn't want to shotgun this in this build because where like you have those two monsters on the field, Trias and Low, where I guess like a pure variant would just like make this on sit on it and that's it. Like we make Moon and then go Fiendsmith route, so to me it doesn't make sense to make this most of the time. So I might cut it for something else. I'm not sure what. Nothing's really come up that like I absolutely need, so that's really the issue. It's like it's just a free slot so far. The only thing I think is like another one of this because it's not once per turn, so I could like send one off the Nadir, and then get Maximus and send one off the Maximus. Yeah, because Maximus makes you send two different monsters. But if I send one off Nadir and then send one off the Maximus, it's like they're not sending at the same time. So, yeah, that might come up more going second, to be honest. Like, I might just do that now that I think about it. Yeah, and then let's go to the side deck real quick. Side deck was like, I'm still testing it. I don't really know how I feel about it because I didn't get to side in like everything. But I'll tell you what I feel really good about. The Judgments I feel really great about. Anti-Spell's nice. There can be only one. They can be only one. I mean, this won me a game where, like, if you hit a normal summon and then you have Omni Negates, you get, like, it makes it kind of simple where, like, you don't have to, like, negate stuff and then hope that they didn't draw something. Like, negating the normal summon or whatever they go into that line with the normal summon, making them get rid of extra cards and then just Judgmenting there. That helped me a lot with being able to use my hand chops better, not knowing that they won't have a follow-up unless it's like a activated effect or something that they're gonna have to use, which in that case I could just negate. This is absolutely insane against Tempai. You could even keep this going in second against Tempai. Just like bait their spears, I guess, before you activate this, which isn't too hard to do. You could literally summon low and attack the spears because it's at 50. And then the fears is at 0. Even when they summon off of it, 0, so you can just attack over that too if you want. Anti-spell is just good coverage. And then called by. This is pretty much my going first package. I want to main this, but I just don't see the room for it. I already cut the Old Man Sir Arvis. I already cut Bahamut. Or why do I keep calling Bahamut? It's Magnamut. Bistio Magnamut, I cut that already. And I don't know where else I would fit it without just going to 51 cards, but the deck's kind of hard to shuffle as it is at 50 with double sleeved. Then we got the third draw, and then we got the rest is like all going second cards. Because going first, like you're pretty okay. All you really lose to is like Droplet and Dark Ruler. So like you could do Iron Thunder or whatever that card's called. That like is pretty much another Judgment. I just need to pick those up, to be honest. Like I probably would be testing with them. Going second, triple Tactics Thrust, 3 Evenly, and 3 Dark Ruler. Mainly, honestly, probably just for Yubel. Like this specifically, they make incredible boards, and it's like this is really the only card that can help you just start playing. Maybe like Wing Dragon or Raw, I guess, but you use your normal summon for low Diviner. Maybe I could like side out Diviner for Wing Dragon or Raw. I probably gotta test that, to be honest, but yeah, I think Dark Ruler's fine too. Or maybe both, who knows. Evenly, just like back row decks. stuff that doesn't have Omni negates, like I feel like simplifying the game and then playing in main phase 2 is totally fine. Because like if they have a monster up, like you can't really OTK them with this deck. But you could put them in a position where like, they're not going to be able to play anymore, and then like set your traps, set your target protection and everything. And this was just trying to like really help me get back to this into talents and stuff. And I did go into talents. I got shifted once, and then I got like I think ashed, and I was able to get to like a talents to draw cards. Whereas like normally you can get to Nadir Servant and like so many other spells that are even better, but minimum you can still get to a tactics talent. So yeah, I think this deck is pretty well positioned going into post Rage of the Abyss. I think there's a lot of strong decks right now, and it's just pretty fun. In general, you never really know what you're going to play, but it's always going to be competitive. But yeah, we'll see as the format progresses, but I'm definitely going to be playing on this. I think hand traps is probably the way to go unless you're on Tempai, but I guess Tempai, even then, like you're still going to play those jellyfishes and stuff. But yeah, that's it. Let me know if you guys have any comments or thoughts on the deck and in the comments, and I'll see you next time.